Hey guys, this is Doug, we'll fix it, and we have a washing machine showing error message E08, so it's usually related to the motor, the speed sensor and so on. So let's take a look. Alright, so we need to pull the washing machine out because we need to access the panel on the back to check the motor and so on. So to do that first, we need to make sure the power is disconnected for the washing machine. We need to make sure the drainage hose is disconnected, so that might be under the sink. In my case, it's under my sink, and also the cold water is disconnected from the washing machine. So the hose that connects the cold water to the washing machine also needs to be disconnected, so you can actually pull this out towards me, and then without pulling on the cables, the power, the drainage or the water. And then we're going to just slide this washing machine out and then have a look at the back of the washing machine. Okay, so you can see the plug's out, right? The hose, the drainage hose is disconnected. This is the cold water hose. It's disconnected on the other end, so I can actually pull in it. I've got some give, which is cool. And now I can actually see the back panel. So what you need to do is, there's a number of these screws or bolts that go all the way around this little panel here. And this is what we need to take out. So I've already taken a couple out, you know, one here, all the way around, including there's one at the bottom. So let's remove those first, and then we can actually take this panel out. So the panel's out. There's about, I think there's about 9 screws, I think, that need to come out. They look like this. Okay, so take those out, get the panel off, and now you can actually access the drum, and you can see, you know, if I turn it, actually there's actually a brushing noise. Can you hear that? And it should be much smoother than that. So the motor's down here that you can see. So that's what we need to access. So remember, E08 is related to motor speed sensor or the motor itself. So we're going to have to pull that motor out and have a closer look. First thing we need to do is actually get this belt off. So let's do that. Okay, to get the belt off, what we need to do is, you see, if you just hold the belt, just pull it towards you a bit and then just rotate. Just pull it towards you, keep rotating, and then it will just pop off like that. Now the belt's off, let me show you what's next. Okay, so now the belt's off, so we've seen that, and now we can actually see the motor. And if I turn it, can you hear that kind of brushing noise? That's not normal, so I think the carbon brushes on this motor are worn out. So let's actually disconnect this. So we need to pull out this cable, give it a little wiggle, so that's out. Pull out the block, so that's out. Now what we need to do is actually remove this bolt. I've already removed one here. We need to remove this bolt as well, and then we can actually slide this motor out. Now this is actually quite a strong bolt. So let's quickly remove this. Okay, so the bolts are off, and now what you kind of need to just lift the motor and pull it towards you, and you see it's just popped out. So let's have a closer look at this motor. Let me get it on the table. Okay, so motor's out. This is really heavy, by the way. It weighs quite a bit. You see when I spin it, it's making a noise. So I think these are the 2 carbon brushes, one on this side, one on that side. So we're going to remove these and then have a look at the state of them. The thing is if you're going to replace the whole motor, you're looking at least 100 quid. So that's well over $100 minimum for this whole motor unit. If it's just the brushes or the carbon brushes, you're looking at about 10-15 quid to get a replacement of the brushes. So let's have a quick look at these brushes. So I've got the motor standing up now. To get these brushes off, you need to disconnect this. So we're just going to pull this out, and then we're going to undo these 2 screws, and then we're going to do the same on the opposite side. Undo the 2 screws, pull out the power or the electrical on that side, and then we'll have a closer look at the brushes. So let's do that now. So I've unscrewed the brushes. So if we pull out this one, there's just a couple of pins holding it in place alongside the screw. So if we pull the brush out, you can see on this brush here, there's still a little bit of carbon, still a bit left to go on the brush right here, right? If we pull out the second one, let's have a look. And they are just held in by these little pins. You can see there's actually hardly any left. And that's probably what the problem is. So we're going to order a new set of carbon brushes. If you look at the difference, one is they're not worn evenly. One is still much longer than the other. Right, so we're going to order a set of these. And I've got them, I've ordered them off Amazon for around, I think it's £10, which is what, $12, whatever that is. Rather than changing the whole motor, we're just going to try and change these brushes and then see if this motor fires up. Remember, the washing machine is not turning at all, so the motor's not actually moving the drum via the belt. So it's probably this brush that's gone, but we're going to change it both. As I said, you can get these off Amazon, pretty much anywhere from any washing machine spares or appliance spares place. You can get these for a couple of quid. So we're going to do that instead. So let those come, and then we'll do the assembly in reverse. So these are the original carbon brushes, and you can see they're worn completely differently in terms of one's a lot shorter than the other. So we've got a new set in. And the clip, can you see that little clip there, just on the top, just there, holding the brush in because it's spring loaded. So we're going to basically snap that off, unleash the carbon brush, and then replace it on the motor. So let's quickly do that now. So if we do a quick comparison, you can see how the new ones are much longer. And these ones, I mean, that one's pretty much gone, which I think is where the main problem lies. That one was probably still fine working, but that one's way too short. So we're going to swap these out, same as the way they went in. So let's do that. So I've got one brush in, but what I'm going to do is actually get this one in. So we're just going to collapse the spring a bit, push the carbon brush in like this, and then we're just going to clip it into, you see this hole, these two big holes aligned with these two pins, and then this is for the screws. So first things first, let's just get this clipped in, and we can then screw it in once it's in the right position. So push that down. So you can see that's actually in position now, and I'm going to take the screws off the old one and just basically screw each of these brushes in, 2 screws on each one. So let me quickly do that now. So now both the brushes are screwed in, so you can see that, the black bits. And then what I'm going to do is just reconnect this cable right here like this. So this is for this side. Make sure you just get it on nice and clean, like that. And then on this side, you can see the clip is slightly, the connector is slightly bent up, so it's going to bend that in a bit. And then just repeat the same thing. And then after that, this motor is ready to go back in, and hopefully it should solve our issues. Fingers crossed. So let's just basically put this back in reverse. So remember, the motor goes in, the bolts, the 2 motor bolts have to go in at the top, then the belt goes back on, and then we can run a test. So let's do that. So the motor's back in, you can see the bolts are in on both sides up there, and then the plug's in and the earth is back in. And now what we've got to do is just get the belt back on. So the motor's up and running again. Before, remember, it wasn't even spinning, and I've got it in a quick 10-minute rinse and spin, and it's actually back round again working. So there you go, test successful. We'll have to run it for a full cycle and see how it does, but it looks like it's working and the motor's back up and running again, so that's good. Okay, so it was just the brushes, job done, fixed for like 12 quid, pretty good. Please sub the channel, like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Job done. It was just simple 2 carbon brushes in the end, not a big outlay for a motor. Please sub the channel, like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.